Hello guys, it's Revolution. In this video, we are going to debunk the final argument made by the Jirenettes, proclaiming that Jiren is stronger than BROLY. Now, if you've been following Revolution for a while, you will know that I have covered this topic to no end. I have definitely overdone this topic, I know that, but there is one argument that still lingers its ugly head in debates I often see between BROLY and Jiren, and that is the argument insisting that Belmod beating Beerus in an arm wrestle and Whis proclaiming that Belmod was stronger than Beerus in episode 92 of Dragon Ball Super, and Jiren being proclaimed to be stronger than Belmod even whilst heavily suppressed in episode 110. That means that a heavily suppressed Jiren is stronger than Beerus, the God of Destruction of Universe 7. But just before we continue to debunk that notion, if you haven't seen all the videos I've done on this topic, and like I said, I've covered this topic ad nauseum, do check them out. I've covered it multiple times. Why BROLY is the strongest mortal in the multiverse, which covers a vast array of official licensed sources regarding the topic of who is the strongest enemy Goku and Vegeta have ever faced. I've even broken it down, comparing the power scaling from the Tournament of Power to that of what it should be projected at in the Dragon Ball Super BROLY movie. There's even been more since that video. We've had updates on the sticker set that have Gogeta at 9,800, whereas Jiren lingers at 9,500 with BROLY at 9,600. As I've said many times before, how much weight these sources hold for you is absolutely up to you, but they are licensed official material. Which brings us on to the mess that is Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the promotional anime. Many Jirenettes use the argument that Jiren and Ultra Instinct surpassed that of Fusion, as we saw Kumba fared relatively well in his base form against Vegito Blue Kaioken, yet was defeated in his base form against Ultra Instinct Goku and forced Kumba to turn Super Saiyan 3 against Jiren. Yet in episode 18 of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, we saw Gogeta Blue fare much better against Universe Seed Hearts than Jiren did, which indicates that Fusion is above Jiren and even over Ultra Instinct Goku, who needed aid against Giant Kamioran, who only had a part of the Universal Seed. Once again, the way to Super Dragon Ball Heroes is up to you. For me, in terms of source strength, it would be literally a 1 out of 10, but ultimately it is official licensed material. Whether you think these sources hold a lot of weight or not, it at least gives you an idea of what major players involved in the franchise of Dragon Ball rate these characters' power levels. After the heroes argument has been shot down, the final remaining argument is what I mentioned earlier, the episode 92 statement by Whis proclaiming that Belmod was stronger than Beerus. Now, this is a matter of perspective. Personally, from my perspective, I thought that Whis was just playing around with Beerus, as he has done many times in the past, most noticeably in episode 39, when Goku unleashed Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, and of course the manga by Toyotaro even mocked the idea that an arm wrestle would justify one character having a higher power level than another. But, of course, this statement is subjective. Many people will have different ideas of what certain statements will mean. It's all a matter of your own personal presupposition. So of course, onto the debunking, I'm going to show why this statement being in favour of Jiren being stronger than Beerus, even whilst heavily suppressed, makes utterly no sense. Now, this isn't necessarily from my perspective, I'm going from the perspective of the opposing side to my personal view on this particular subject. This is what we said in episode 92. There is a universe where lives a mortal even a god of destruction can't defeat. That god of destruction happens to be stronger than Beerus-sama. Fast forward to episode 110, when witnessing Jiren manhandle Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku using a spirit bomb, it appears the rumour is true. There is a universe where lives a mortal even a god of destruction can't defeat. He is the one that has reached that state, perhaps even surpassed it. We all know how Dragon Ball Super loves to use vague terming, like perhaps, maybe, you know the drift. Anyway, so from what we're supposed to take from that is that Jiren in his suppressed state has at least reached Belmod's power level, thus meaning, if we were to take Whis' statements from episode 92 literally, that he has also surpassed Beerus in a suppressed state. Of course, the perhaps even surpassed its statement makes no sense considering he's already at Belmod's level and he's already surpassed Beerus given the arm wrestle as a feat of power levels. Now what was Jiren doing at this particular time? Like I said, he was holding off a Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Spirit Bomb. We don't know how much power that Spirit Bomb in particular had. Of course, it would have been additional to Goku's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20, but the opposing force from Jiren and the Genki Dharma had enough power to force Goku to break his limits and achieve Ultra Instinct Omen for the very first time. Now, what do we know that transpires throughout the rest of the tournaments of power that is similar to this power level? Super Saiyan Kefla. Whis himself stated that Super Saiyan Kefla was relative to that Genki Dharma. Not only was she relative to that Genki Dharma, that was at least relative to the amount of power that a suppressed Jiren was using at that time, she turned Super Saiyan 2, at least doubling her raw power. Given this information, we'd have to assume that Kefla in Super Saiyan 2 was more than 2 times stronger than God of Destruction Beerus. It would also mean Ultra Instinct Omen Phase 2 Goku had surpassed Beerus at full power, and likely God of Destruction Toppo, as well as Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Now with these particular characters, there's no direct comparison between them and Beerus, and after all, Beerus does call Kefla's power terrifying, but does that mean that they are stronger than Beerus? I'll leave that up to you. Let me know down in the comment section if you think Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, Blue Evolution Vegeta and God of Destruction Toppo are stronger than Beerus. However, going back to episode 110, where Whis says that Jiren's reached that state, even Whis states that he senses a far higher power from Jiren, referencing Jiren's potential power, where his peak power level may lie at. And I believe this is what he's inferring when talking about his potential power being at the state of the gods, if not higher, or should I say, perhaps surpassed it. But of course, bringing us on to episode 129, when Goku achieves Ultra Instinct Omen Phase 3, which, of course, was able to compete with a fully powered Jiren. Whis uses the state of the gods argument again, but this time he says that Ultra Instinct Omen Phase 3 Goku, who should be stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, God of Destruction Toppo and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, is stepping into the state of the gods. He isn't saying he's surpassed the state of the gods. So this in particular leads me to believe that Whis was just referring to Jiren's potential power back in episode 110, and that we shouldn't really take that arm wrestle seriously from episode 92 Whis' statement. Of course, BROLY in the Dragon Ball Super BROLY movie, which takes place after the Tournament of Power, so all those Zenkai boosts, those adaptation boosts that Goku would have received in the Tournament of Power and after, and training as well, of course, with Vegeta. Goku would have all that power from the end of the Tournament of Power, if not more, in the Dragon Ball Super BROLY movie. But this is what the producer of the Dragon Ball Super BROLY movie had to say in terms of Goku's power in comparison to Beerus' power. The usual suspects, Goku is pretty close to being a god and Vegeta is desperately trying to catch up. So even if we bring Super Saiyan Blue Evolution back into the equation, according to Nagamine, Vegeta is behind Goku and his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20. Of course, those two transformations didn't appear in the movie because they are not Toriyama ideas, and Toriyama wrote the script for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, with Nagamine saying that the script for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie was, as is, Toriyama's own writing from the author's pen. Of course, Goku at the end of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie stated that Broly may be stronger. He's likely referring to Super Saiyan Full Power Broly, but potentially even a Super Saiyan Broly, the Broly that Frieza proclaimed was the strongest enemy he'd ever faced in the Dragon Ball Super Broly light novels. Then of course you can compare the fusions of Kefla and Gogeta. Kefla at Super Saiyan should have been stronger than Beerus, going on the statements from episode 92 and episode 110, yet Broly was able to go toe to toe with Super Saiyan Gogeta, and when going Super Saiyan Full Power, forced Gogeta to turn into a Super Saiyan Blue, skipping Super Saiyan 2, which would have been far stronger than Kefla's Super Saiyan 2, given that Goku and Vegeta, the fusees of Gogeta, are far stronger than Kale and Caulifla, who of course form Kefla. Even then, Broly was able to tank some of Gogeta Blue's hits. Of course, when Gogeta took it fully serious, he would have finished Broly, but it still goes without saying that Broly at Super Saiyan full power is likely around God Gogeta levels. Now, need I remind you that Goku's God transformation, even whilst fatigued, far outstrips that of Kale's Berserk transformations, so even if you want to say Kefla's Super Saiyan transformations were of a Berserk nature, it wouldn't have really mattered. It simply does not make sense that Beerus would be weaker than Belmod, who was weaker than a heavily suppressed Jiren in episode 110. Given the fact he's still stated to be stronger than Goku and Vegeta at their strongest, and given the fact he was compared to a full power Broly who could compete with beyond Super Saiyan levels of Gogeta. Of course, this would fit more in line with Jump's statements, saying that Goku with his complete Ultra Instinct was relative to Beerus at full power in episode 129, and would fit more in line with the adaptation from the manga, which shows Beerus dominating the other Gods of Destructions in the Zen Exhibition God of Destruction match. Of course, I've done a video comparing the Gods of Destructions power levels as well, where it's highly indicated that Beerus and Quintella are the two most powerful Gods of Destructions. Quite frankly put, Whis' statements from episode 92 and episode 110, even when taken from a certain subjective perspective in favour of Jiren being stronger than at full power Beerus while suppressed, are debunked later in the story by statements, narratives and director interviews. There are simply no other arguments left in favour of Jiren being stronger than Super Saiyan full power Broly, so for now this debate is done until we get any further information, hopefully from an A1 source like Toriyama, a new Dragon Ball Super series, a new Dragon Ball movie, or possibly even the manga. Jiren would have to be in an awakened state to even dance with Super Saiyan full power Broly, but the awakened state is a form that literally lasts 20 seconds as per the Tournament of Power, whereas Broly doesn't really tire. As per current information, there is nothing suggesting Jiren can beat Broly. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That is another nail in the coffin of Jiren. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Try and keep it civil. Make sure you're subscribed to Revolution to get Dragon Ball content every Tuesday and Thursday nights. And if you enjoy my content, please do smash that like button and lend the Daishinkan your energy. Until next time, Ad Astra.